Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
Golly, Carl, this party running like a well-oiled machine, isn't it? This Republican Party.
Yeah, they are not in array, as it's been said.
Right.
And, I keep on waiting for somebody to be like, Mr. Speaker! Mr. Speaker!
Mr. Speaker! Hello! Bueller. That's funny, Carl. Yeah. What are they going to do? Jody mentioned this yesterday, and our legal ad, Tristan Snell, who joins us
next week.
He said exactly what you did. He said, big deal. Trump can't be speaker because of his indictments. House Republicans' own rules require a leader to step aside if indicted for a felony of 2+ years in prison. A member of the Republican leadership shall step aside if indicted for a felony for which a sentence of 2 or more years imprisonment may be imposed. But as I was saying earlier, Carl, they'll just blow up that rule. They don't believe in rules or laws, right?
There's a rule.
Yeah.
They don't care about rules. Also, we're just not lucky enough. I mean, yes, the McCarthy thing is hilarious and, bad for our country in terms of wanting an effective Congress or whatever. It shows them for who they are. But we're not lucky enough to have Donald Trump as speaker, although he would fit right in with that level of dysfunction. So that's never going to happen. Patrick McHenry, the interim, is corrupt as the day is long. He's in the pocket of every financial services industry corporation you can imagine, especially greedy payday lenders.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
and I hear the head elf in the head
job.
elf in the Keebler tree that he works in is also mad at him.
Whoever gets the job, I can only imagine, they've got this line of people, you're the next in order, and it's maybe I'll move down the line a little bit.
I think John Fugelsang, it's become the Spinal Tap drummer, the Republican Speaker of the House. Right. All right, who's next? Yeah, I was thinking I would like the Trump, because we were saying just for the State of the Union, I think they'd have to do either the Hannibal Lecter mask or a ball gag, something, so he wouldn't squirm and make faces and say stuff, right?
Well, he also wouldn't know what to do with the paper copy that they give him. He'd be like, what is this?
Right.
There's weird stuff on it.
Oh, no, you know what he'd do? He'd rip it up like Nancy Pelosi did, but very dramatically during the entire speech, just because,
He'd be like, I asked for charts.
Yeah, exactly. colorful charts. Yeah. Well, can I just say this is how I could not love John Fetterman any harder. He said of the House leadership, replacing one with a different kind of isn't going to change anything in the House. We're one DNA test from the Jerry Springer show.
Yeah.
And he said D. He said the D word. Replacing one D with another D. Okay. I mean. It's, the thing is, it's funny, Carl, you and I both grew up in Republican families. We have Cassidy Hutchinson. Is it next week?
Next week.
Yeah. And I don't have very long with her, the book tour thing, but I have to ask, because you could hear a nation of liberals go, oh no, when she said she's still a Republican.
Yeah.
Because I think we all admire her courage at her young age. I was a hot mess, when I was that age. And the fact that, she didn't come from money or any of that and had the courage to go out and get her own lawyer and tell the truth was, I thought, admirable. But, Carl, I have to ask, why? Particularly, I'm wondering if this week changed anything. How do you look at this hot mess of a party? It's not only not Reagan's party anymore. It's not, it is fully Donald Trump's party. How does anyone now, like a Cassidy Hutchinson, I wonder, square that with saying I'm still a Republican?
In a weird way, they probably still have hope that they can snap it back.
Yeah.
The party very quickly took on the persona of Trump. And when I say the party, I mean a good 40% of it. And then the rest of the people were just fine with going along with it, right? So, I think some Republicans probably believe all they need to do is nominate a normal, quote, Republican, and the party will snap back to reality. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah.
I think they could definitely snap back to supporting whoever the party nominates, regardless of whether they are more in the Bush line than the Trump line.
Yeah.
But they will always be susceptible to somebody like Donald Trump.
Yeah. And Carl, it's all, I think people need to understand, need to keep driving home. It's all connected. Just this past, show of a week in the GOP is almost shut the government down because Donald Trump told them to try to stop prosecutions against this 91 count 4 times indicted crook. Right, so that's why they almost shut the government down, and that's also the reason they kicked out their own speaker, and it, so it's all connected. It's all connected to Trump.
And the fact that they kicked out their own speaker successfully means it's far more likely that they will shut down the government again.
Yep. Yeah.
Because what the quote unquote the rebels have proven to their caucus is that they have the votes to do whatever they want, and you better give in to them. And they don't want the government to function.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Lindy Lee said it. Acting Speaker Patrick McHenry's first act was to kick Pelosi out of her office while she was away for Dianne Feinstein's funeral. Trump locked the White House and sent the Butlers home on inauguration while also trying to fire the White House butler for helping the Bidens. Kirschner stymied the transition. Melania wouldn't host Jill for the traditional tea. GOP stands for the government of petty. Mm-hmm. That's really what they are, just from him on down, just petty, vindictive little people.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I just remember Hillary went to the inauguration.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Imagine what that took for her. But yeah, what do you think they're going to do for the speaker? I have no clue at this point. So Scalise, who said himself, "I'm David Duke without the baggage." Jim Jordan, who covered up, what do you call it? Wrestlers getting assaulted at Ohio State. That's it so far?
Yeah, right. I mean, really, you don't want, if you want a career that lasts longer than a few years, you really don't want this job in Republican politics. I imagine they may, spin a bottle, and whoever it lands on gets to be speaker. Maybe Louis Gohmert will come out of retirement.
Oh, Lord.
Really, there's nothing they can do to right this ship.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost them significant damage. I just saw a story recently this morning about how McCarthy's ouster complicates their path in 2024 because he was such a fundraising powerhouse, and there's no way he's going to be raising the money he would have if he was speaker. So this creates a lot of problems for them.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for Democrats. Say what you will, the Democratic caucus is far more diverse ideologically than the Republican caucus. And Nancy Pelosi always got the moderates to come along and compromise. Everybody compromised with each other to get the work done.
Yeah. I couldn't love this exchange more because it happened on Fox News yesterday. Ducey said, now the House that has a slim Republican majority looks like they can't govern. Brian Kilmeade, they have a strong case when you go to swing districts and say you saw the chaos in the House. You've got to put Democrats in charge. Give Hakeem Jeffries the gavel.
Computer says no.
Oh my God. I mean, you're right. I think it's just everyone sees how ridiculous they look, I think.
Well, and what's absolutely nuts is they're going to pick a speaker, right? And that speaker may not last long, but they're going to pick somebody because there's no shortage of backbenchers in the Republican caucus who would gladly take the spotlight thinking they can do the job. And they will run into the same train that the last several Republican leaders have run into.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love it. I do love the Spinal Tap drummer thing because I feel like, I don't know, maybe it'll be Jim Jordan and then that documentary. When is that coming out? The movie about him covering up sexual abuse will come out and then he'll be gone. And I don't know. Oh my God. What a state of affairs, Carl. So what again, predictions on, what's going to happen with Trump in terms of gag order or prison? I mean, I think we can all see where this is heading. He's not going to pay attention to any gag order and more. And I think, as everyone keeps saying, are we going to wait till something happens, till someone gets killed? And then, there's people screaming from the rooftops right now about the need to.
I think we have to assume that none of these judges would put a gag order in place if they weren't willing to follow it through to its logical conclusion. These judges are not the kind of people who make false threats, right? They don't say, cross this line and there will be consequences, and they cross the line. It's like, no, cross this line and there will be consequences. No, judges don't like to be messed with. So I think Trump's lawyers, including the ones that are still struggling with box checking technology, are probably begging him. Look, there's a benefit to him going to jail, right?
Yeah.
It's with the Republican primary voters who will be up in arms over it. But it is serious peril for him. And so I'm sure his lawyers are begging him to follow the order.
Yeah.
But they will discover, just as every string, they're the ninth string lawyers for him, right? So they will discover, just like every other lawyer he's ever had, that he does what he wants.
Carl, we say every day, it's not him. It's his completely lunatic, detached from reality supporters, of whom apparently we have one every day. This is our friends over at Good Liars interviewing a Trump supporter about
So what is that?
That's best president of the United States.
All right, that's Donald Trump with his mugshot, right? It says never surrender.
Never surrender.
Okay, that is a picture of him surrendering to Georgia authorities, though, right?
Sure. He's the best president of America.
What?
Okay, but that literally is a picture of him surrendering, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it. Yep.
Cognitive dissonance is strong.
Still the best president.
And I keep asking Carl, is this fraud trial gonna, blow up their initial myth of him that he's some sort of successful businessman when he's just,
Nope.
yeah.
Won't blow up anything.
There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And Z-Biotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine. I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.